back channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. Please listen to this presentation as you would a radio broadcast. In this essay, I'd like to talk about sort of a bit of a surprise that I got was there's recently been a spate of travel adverts, travel adverts to go to Western Europe, Paris and London and Rome and Vienna and all this sort of stuff. And they've got the typical sort of iconic type backdrop locations, like the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Tower of London, or the Houses of Parliament or something, or Westminster Abbey and Big Ben, and all that sort of stuff in England, and the Colosseum in Rome, and all that sort of thing, or the Spanish Steps downtown there. Now, what struck me in these adverts was they feature only white, but there's not even any black people in background. It's all white people, happy, smiling families, but this doesn't resemble a reality. Now, this is not just the typical picture postcard type thing that the travel sort of brochures always have, but this is misrepresentation on a grand scale, I would argue. So let's go and have a look at the Eiffel Tower, or the area around the Eiffel Tower in now, the recent videos, and there's sometimes there's like street cam footage, things like that. And you're lucky to see any white people. And in some of the shots of around the Eiffel Tower, there is no white people. There's brown people, groups of black and brown men furtively milling around, looking like they're up to no good, by the way. Why are they there? What are they doing? They're the classic pickpockets, cheap hustler type peasant folks there. And they're all around the Eiffel Tower, or all around London, and again, Rome and so on. So that there are no white people in reality around. If you do see the odd sort of white person that they're sort of right in the background, just walking past, they're not participants, if you like, in a touristy type scene. So why are the travel brochures saying that only white people are going to be there, and there are no brown or black people? Why are they doing that? Shouldn't they be pushing multiculturalism? Shouldn't they be showing lots of black lesbians, lots of black man with white woman, mixed race? Shouldn't they be doing that? What's happened? Who's doing these travel brochures? Are Nazis? Has Hitler come back from the dead just to do these travel brochures? It's looking like it to me. Fascists everywhere, Nazis. So, but why do it? So it seems that white people in white countries really would prefer to go to the Eiffel Tower because it's French, and because they expect to see French people and have a French experience, and have French pastries and escargot, and have the real French sort of experience, like it used to be when I first started going to France. So why do this misrepresentation? Why not show as it is? Hey, you might go and see the Eiffel Tower, but you won't see any white people there, buddy. Do you want to go on holiday? Do you want to go on a vacation there? So it's hardly an attractive or an alluring prospect. Don't you want to be culturally enriched, you fucking Nazi? So where are they going with this? They're pretending, and it is a pretense because it's not true. They're pretending that if you go to the Eiffel Tower or any of the iconic things around Europe, you'll only see white British people in Britain, white French people in France, and so on. The reality, of course, is the complete opposite. You'll be lucky if you see any white people around there, and even then, they'll be tourists from somewhere else anyway. Ukrainian multimillionaires that have siphoned off gazillions from the military aid that they began. So now they swan around, flicking gold dust in all directions. So what's going on there? It looks like white people in white countries, if they're going to go to Western Europe, they want a unique French cultural and British cultural, or I don't know, Italian cultural experience. They don't want to go there to find lots of Islamic hordes and Romanian pickpockets, so they're not going there for that. So the brochures try and depict an idyllic world that used to exist, 30 years ago, but doesn't any longer. Maybe it will again in the future, but that's yet to be determined. But right now, the brochures and the experience, the travel, holiday, vacation experience that they're pushing doesn't exist. You could not get a more comprehensive misrepresentation. Now, I've noticed in things like other travel things like, say, cruising, for example, which is quite popular out of Australia, particularly off the east coast, because the islands of Fiji and so on aren't really that far away. A couple of days cruising and you can be in some of these places. So they Vanuatu and so on. The adverts there heavily promote mixed race couples. The white guy and the Asian chick and that sort of thing. And it's always, Filipino looking would be my take on that. But nonetheless, the Asian chick, you don't see mixed race Indians. That doesn't go down well with the Indians. They don't like this idea of the mixed race relationships. They're very much fixated on genetic purity and all this sort of thing. But, and there's been, just recently, there seems to have been a move away from this, and they're coming back to actually white couples. Anglo couples, and which form by far. I mean, the mixed race couples would be. I mean, you'd be struggling to get to 2 or 3%. Certainly wherever I go in Australia, even in areas where again the local population is made up of people that were in the first mass migration wave of the late 1990s. So their children are all grown up now and in their early 20s, and they don't mix. You see groups of kids going around. There's the Chinese group and the Indian group and the so on. So that's sort of the Filipino group, and so you don't see the even just friends in school kid type age, friends in class hanging out or something. You do see it, but it's very rare. So this idea of mixed race relationships that they push so heavily through the advertising on things like cruises are representing a world that doesn't exist in any reality. So does this represent a change in that now, the politically correct globalist inspired adverts for whether it be for travel or anything else are coming to an end? I don't know. But the reality is that these adverts for the travel, you'll get a unique French experience by going to the Eiffel Tower and meeting French people. No, you won't. Now, you did. When I first went to France, it was as an adult on business. It was, I don't know, about 1990, I suppose. I was a pretty young guy then, and I didn't see many black people. If I did, I don't recall it. It was, everywhere you went, there were French people. Same when I went through Brussels and Amsterdam and all around there. I don't remember seeing many. There were black people in Rome. I remember seeing that. Not too many, but they were there. And I remember seeing in the airport, Rome airport, punch-ups between a group of blacks and the Italian authorities, like I don't know, passport control or the police or whatever they were. There were a few scuffles in the airport, but there weren't. So I don't remember seeing. There were no shanty towns in Paris. There was every shop I went into had local French people in it, working in it, and my French is very ordinary, and most of the people spoke hardly any English, so I had to try and get by with a mixture of Spanish, the Latin version of Spanish, and sort of half French and some other words. If it was in a certain area, then my German could get me by, and that sort of thing. So, but I don't remember seeing any. I even went to a market somewhere. It was in some arty part of France, Paris. I'm just trying to remember where it was. Used to be famous in the 1930s for artistic types to hang out. Anyway, Montmartre. Anyway, so I was there, and the street market. So I remember seeing a few black people there, as in North African type black people, but or dark brown, Arabic. But I don't remember seeing very many. It was such a novelty that I took note of it because there were so few of them there. But it's different today. Over the last 35 years, the globalists have really pushed the mass migration very hard, and they've changed the whole complexion makeup. But for me, I don't want to go to Paris, unless I have to on business or something. I wouldn't choose to go there on a vacation. Because it's not a unique French experience anymore. So why would I go? Now there's another side of it where there was a little sort of note that you can choose to go on particular tours. Like say you're in a hotel in Paris and they'll get a bus to take you directly to Versailles as part of a tour group, and you can make sure your tour group only has people that you kind of want in it, so you can hang out with your your other white people, I suppose is what it means, or other black people if you're black. But in that case, maybe then it would work. But I don't want to go to London or any of these places now that have been ruined by mass migration, and I would imagine that many others think as I do. So therefore, they're going for the unique French experience, not to be culturally enriched by pickpockets or Islamic radicals or something. So I imagine there's a lot of white people thinking, well, I don't want to go on vacation to those places. And so that's having an effect on the overall travel industry, and they're trying to make good by misrepresenting Paris as being uniquely 100% white, which it isn't. So let's see where this one goes. You've been fantastic today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.